I've been throwing out a few mentions here and there about how I received a Sybian because we were just getting to know each other. I wasn't really ready to get into it, but now I'm ready to spill the beans. This thing will change your sex life. You may think you know all about the Sybian, but forget what you've heard because it's so different from any other sex product you've seen before. In fact, it's so much more than just a sex toy. The Sybian is a full-on sexual experience, one that you can enjoy solo or share with a partner. For one thing, it's the only sex product with a unique mountable design that simulates the feel of riding a partner during woman on top position. And the cool thing about the Sybian is that each woman has the power to customize her own experience every time she uses it and make it work for her. There's a lot of different attachments. There's actually 11. You can get one that's shaped like a penis. You can get one that's for your clitoris. There's a bunch of different attachments to choose from. There is no limit to the ways you can experience a Sybian, and each machine is as unique as the woman riding it. Also, women who have trouble reaching orgasm during intercourse, I know you're out there, you email me every day, Sybian could be the secret to unlocking your orgasmic potential. Repeated rides on the Sybian can train your body to orgasm, making it easier to experience multiple O's and increase sexual response with a partner. And because of the unique design of the Sybian, once you learn how to orgasm with it, you can transfer that experience to sex with your partner. The way you move, you'll be able to figure out what you learned on the Sybian with your partner. Oh, and have I mentioned how hot it will be for your partner to watch you play with it? Here's a testimonial from the Sybian website that says it all. My husband and I have been married for 17 years, and I always thought our sex life was okay, but I didn't get too excited about it. My first time on the Sybian, I can hardly describe the feeling I had. My body just exploded. It was just unreal what happened to me. I soon realized at the age of 38, with the Sybian, I had my first orgasm ever. I've now started having orgasms while making love to my husband, and I have Sybian to thank. Shelly from Texas. To hear what other happy customers have to say about their sex life-changing Sybian or to order your customized Sybian today, visit Sybian.com. That's SYBIAN.com. As a special treat for our Sex with Emily listeners, you get $75 off your first order with code Emily75. So check out Sybian.com today.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's got to have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, I feel so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. But you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, go to sexwithemily.com. But you can listen to all of our podcasts. You can go to iTunes, which is really easy to do, or Podcast One. You can listen to it on your phone. It's so easy. Wherever you go, I've got hundreds of shows for you to listen to. If you're just a new listener and joining us, subscribe. And then every time the show comes up, you'll know. Also, go to my website, sexwithemily.com. Sign up for our mailing list because I send you really cool emails. They're not annoying emails. They're the kind of emails you're like, oh, cool. This is actually informative. I will use this to improve my sex life and relationship, and I might get a discount on a sex toy or something. So anyway, you'll like them, and we give you funny stories and stuff like that. So, yeah, sign up for our mailing list. We would love that. And follow me on Twitter and Facebook, Sex with Emily, because I also answer your questions on Twitter, which is actually kind of easier for me, like 140 words or less? Like, people ask me questions. This woman the other day, Anderson, she emailed me and she said that her boyfriend's penis, this is so funny because, you know, like people, like, it's like everyone can see her Twitter. And she said, Emily, my boyfriend's penis is too big and it hurts when we have sex. And what do I do? And she's like, I don't know what to do. And I said, lube, 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 go slow, women on top, position, you can control it. And then that's all I said, 140 words less, because that's like what you tell people when he has a big penis. And the next day she was like, oh my God, totally helped my sex life. I feel like
By the way,
what?
That wasn't her, that was him.
No.
Stealing her phone and tweeting for
right,
her.
that my boyfriend has a big penis.
Yeah.
No, a lot of women, you always hear about the guys with the small penises, but seriously, there's guys who
working on Loveline, yeah, we get way more complaints from the ladies about too big than too small.
Exactly, lube, lube, lube. You can never be too rich, too thin, or have too much lube, as I always say. How have you been, Anderson? I've been
good. How was the NY?
I missed you. New York was amazing. There was 2 blizzards, but it was fun. It was Valentine's Day week. I feel like I feel like Santa Claus. It's like my week of the year. So I did a bunch of press and I was on like Fox News. I did a panel for Match.com with Patty Stanger and Perez Hilton.
Oh, yeah.
Perez Hilton. And we answered a lot of questions. And there's a new poll that came up.
Two ball busters right there.
I know. I could barely get a word in edgewise. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm usually the talker. But it was great. If anyone wants to check it out, we're going to be doing a blog about it too on my website. And I also write for Patty Stanger on her website. But it was interesting. There was a lot of facts about like single people in America and lots of bloggers and people there. It was fun. And but it was a really long trip, 2 weeks, and I got sick again, as you can tell.
We missed you. Yeah,
I missed it here. Because I do Loveline after this. Loveline, if you guys want to download it, it's a nationally syndicated show, but it's also a podcast. You can listen to it. I do it after this with Dr. Drew. It's super fun. I grew from Michigan. You thought I could handle the blizzards. I'm just not.
Well, you're a very wafy little lady.
I'm a wafy chick.
Yeah. Hey, who's this sexy wafy chick you got in front of you?
Oh, we've got Skin Diamond here.
Hello.
Hi, Skin Diamond. She is so sexy and beautiful. And Skin Diamond,
Thank you.
when I first met you at the XBiz Awards.
Yes.
But I've known about you because you were also at AVN Awards and you won, like, what didn't you win? So she's a porn star, a nude model, born in the United States, raised in Scotland. And you won this year. Okay, so you've been nominated for 12 AVN Awards, 6 XBiz Awards, 5 Urban X Awards, XBiz Best Supporting Actress, Best Surprise Female Performer of the Year. So, okay, Skin Diamond, beautiful woman. Tell me everything. Okay, so you were raised in Scotland, but your parents were missionaries?
Yes. I moved to Scotland when I was 3, and I lived there for 20 years.
20 years. Wow. Okay.
It was pretty amazing. I actually really love Scotland, even though I got bullied a lot when I was in school because I was so different.
Right.
How
were you different?
Well, because, I mean, there's not a lot of people of color there.
Right.
So I was
very
usually
white.
like the only black girl in my school.
Right.
And, like being an American, that's also something that's different. So I used to get bullied for that.
Right.
And
You got
I was
bullied?
a total Jesus freak too. So
Were you? So because your parents, okay. So
yeah.
When did you, are you still a Jesus freak?
I'm not religious. I'm very spiritual, but I don't believe in organized religion. I think it's too corrupt.
Okay. So how did it affect you, excuse me, growing up? Like you were into it, and then what was the turning, the turning point?
I remember very vividly. I had just finished horse riding with a friend, and her stepsister was in my class, and they were like part of the bad kids, you know, like the kids that would listen to metal and smoke, and we would go behind the garages and smoke cigarettes at school or whatever. And I remember thinking, I'm going to not be a Christian just for a little while and see what it's like.
Right.
And then I ended up never looking back after that. Not that there's anything wrong with Christianity.
No judgment. Exactly.
But it's not for me.
But you got to choose it. So you were raised with it, and then you choose. I think that's what we all do. We're raised with certain parameters, whatever goals our parents have for us, if it's religion or whatever, and then you grow up and you decide what works for me and what doesn't.
But my parents are really, like, a lot of people ask the question, like, oh, well, what do your parents think about what you do? And you know what? My parents are so cool about it. Like, my mom's always been, like, my best friend. And I told her when I first started stripping and whatever. But they're so cool about it. They even came to the AVN Awards met my agent, and because they had me on a billboard outside the Hard Rock, so my dad was there taking photos. It was really cute.
That's so cool. Are they still very religious though?
I mean, they're religious, but they're not. They're like me. They're spiritual and they believe in it and everything, but they just don't like the corruption of the church. Right.
Which is how a lot of people feel. So I love that they support you.
Yeah, they're really
good.
awesome.
It makes such a difference in the world. My parents support me. Everyone's like, what do your parents think of what you do? I'm like, they're fine. I'm making a living talking about sex. I'm helping people, right? And
I feel really lucky because a lot of girls that do this, I've heard horror stories of girls being disowned and cut off from their families entirely. And I'm really blessed to have such an amazing family that have stood by my decisions, even if they don't. It's not the path that they would have chosen for me, of course, but they can see that I'm happy and level-headed.
You know what's strange though is they actually blindly support you because it's not like they can watch your work and say you did a really good job there.
Do they watch? I wonder.
No,
they won't watch. They don't want to watch any of your hardcore scenes.
I mean, my mom like if she sees like naked photos of me or something online, she's like, oh well, I just won't look at that one. But she's really cute about it.
Totally, that's good. I love that. So what was like the defining moment in your life when you were like, I'm going to get into porn? You started with stripping, or how did you? Was that how it started?
Well, I first started. I started nude modeling when I was 19. I wanted to model for Suicide Girls originally, and that was where the name Skin came around because I was going to be Skin Suicide.
Okay.
But then I ended up not modeling for them. I modeled for this other company called God's Girls, which is kind of similar but cooler. Anyway, and so I did that for a while. Then I got into fetish modeling. I used to go to Torture Garden in London all the time and model in the fashion shows there. Cool. And I dated fetish fashion photographers, and my shoots started getting more and more naughty. Right. And like I was like treading into girl territory, and a company that I had posed for, Burning Angel, approached me asking if I wanted to shoot a hardcore sex scene. And I was like, well, I'll shoot a girl scene, and I was gonna go to Paris. So I'm like, I of course want to go to Paris.
Right.
And I ended up having so much fun on that trip. I stayed an extra week and shot my first boy-girl scenes, my first anal scene.
Oh my God, the first movie you did, or the first few scenes?
Yeah.
Wow, you were just like, I'm in it.
Well, because when I did it, I wasn't really thinking that I was going to be a porn star. Right. I was just doing it because I wanted to try it, and I figured if I don't like it, I never have to do it again.
Right.
And I'm already getting naked all over the internet, so I mean, might as well
have sex, right?
Take the jump. And I ended up really enjoying it, and I didn't do it again for like a year or something. It wasn't until I moved to LA that I started doing it full time, and I got my agent.
Okay.
And that was when everything went crazy.
Okay, so tell me, when you did your first girl store, are you with men and women?
Yes, I identify as bisexual.
Okay, so had you been with women growing up, or was it more for porn and then you were into it after you did it?
I've always been into girls. I think before I even realized I was into girls, I remember seeing like a naked woman when I was quite young and feeling turned on and being like, oh, this is weird. Right. And I like had the biggest crush on Jessica Rabbit growing up, and
right, the first one, right?
But yeah, I love guys too, so
right. I got it. So that's good. So are you in a relationship right now?
I mean, I'm dating, but I'm not in anything serious.
Right. Got it. So yeah, so your scenes that you do, so you've done a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. So and so that first thing, so what would you say right now are the best and worst aspects of doing porn?
I think the best aspect is the freedom that I have. I can pretty much just do whatever I want now because I make a lot of money. I can make a lot of money very quickly because, for every scene I'm getting like $1,000, whatever. So like if I'm shooting like 9 times a month, then that's a lot of money. That's a lot more than working 9 to 5.
Right.
But I think of course the orgasms.
Right. Do you always have orgasms?
I do. I come really easily. It's like my pussy was made for porn.
Oh my God, you're so lucky.
But the thing that I dislike about porn, it's not the porn itself, it's the stigma that can come with it.
Right.
You get branded as this type of person when you do porn, and everyone assumes that porno chicks are crazy drug addicts and sex addicts, and I'm actually I feel like because sex is my job, I actually have sex less in my personal life because I'm pickier. I'm not just gonna screw anybody because I'm like I can get paid.
Right, exactly.
I do really well. So yeah, that's the bias that comes with it.
Exactly. No, there definitely is a stigma to it. I understand. Same with what I do. People are like, they made me sex with Emily, they think I'm wild in bed or whatever. And not that I haven't tried a few things here and there, but I'm not what people would necessarily think sex with Emily, the whole thing. I get that. So tell me about, so with women, you're with women. I always like to ask women, bisexuals, women who've been with a lot of women, what you find, is there anything when you hook up with women, any good tips that you have, like oral sex tips about going down on women? I feel like women know best.
Oral sex tips, I think taking it slow, lots of teasing, not kissing around, the pussy,
right?
And because then it's like biting the inside, like just little nibbles and stuff, and just taking things really slowly. Like it's not a race. You can take your time to explore. If you're doing something and she makes a noise, then keep doing it.
Keep going with the noise, right? She's moaning. That's a good thing. Doesn't mean she's hungry.
Yeah,
right.
I think it's just taking your time and enjoying it.
And because then you feel, and when you're with men, do you feel? I'm sure you're probably with men who are more experienced in porn, but in real day-to-day life, do you find that men a lot of times? I was trying to say this to my guy friend the other day. He's like, "What do you mean guys aren't good?" I'm like, "There's a lot of men who just don't." They don't get oral sex. They try, or either they're not into it, or they don't really know what they're doing. I think that because every vagina is different, so you have to learn. You have to pay attention. You have to like focus on: is she moaning? Is she moving? How's her body changing? And they just don't pay attention to it at all.
Well, it's even guys, like every guy likes it a little different,
right?
Too.
Same.
So I think that's the key. You have to take it slow because you have to read the person and figure out what they like, and then once you know. Then you can just like the next time or whatever, you can just go for it. But especially the first time, it's like that's why I love sex, because it's different with everyone.
Right.
So it's always new. It's always fresh.
Exactly. And it should constantly be that way. That's what I'd say one of the main points I make on the show over and over again is that your sex life should be expansive if you're especially in a committed relationship. It should be something that's constantly growing, that you're challenging each other, and you're doing new things, and you're raising the level. And I don't mean raising the level to craziness. I just mean you're trying new things, and it's exciting, and it's like this beautiful thing. And so many people have so many troubles with it, and they just kind of get stagnated. And it is a beautiful thing, and we're all like, we wouldn't be here without sex. It's a miracle.
I think one of the easiest ways to figure out is like just dirty talk. Now I know the guy that I'm dating, like he really wants to have a threesome, because like I'll talk to him about it during like when we're together and be like, oh, so you want to see me and like buried in another girl and he loves it. So now I'm like, well, now we have to have a threesome.
Are you going to?
Yeah, I'm going to find one of my porno friends.
Oh my God, that's his
dream.
I
know so many.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He's never done it
won't
before.
Be hard. He's never had a threesome.
No.
So you'll be his first.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so fun. Do you like having threesomes?
I do. I think they're always a little bit trickier though, because there's the danger of someone feeling left out.
Exactly.
So I actually prefer orgies, because then there's more people to play with. If somebody's feeling left out, you can be like, oh, well, I'm going to go over here. And
right, exactly. No, it is true. It's so true that I always say it's almost better when you have a threesome if you're not all attached. Like if it's a couple and then you bring someone else in,
it can be
awkward. So tricky, because you're like, who's he going to cuddle with at the end of the night, or who's going to finish off, or I mean, there's a lot. I mean, that's just one of the minor things, but it is true that it can get sticky. Like couples who think we're going to have a threesome and it's going to save our relationship. No. You have to have like a really solid ground, really great communication before you bring in a third partner. So I want to go back to orgasm quickly, because I don't. I orgasm, but not as quickly, and I'm very envious of people like you. So have you always, like, when did you start masturbating?
I remember masturbating with, remember those little hair braiding twisty devices that you would get?
Yes.
I remember masturbating with that, because I would turn it on and it would vibrate a little bit. So I'd use the handle.
How did you know though? Like, how old were you?
I was young. I must have been like, I don't know, like 11
right? And you just knew that because
I was I saw something I maybe shouldn't have at a very young age. So I already had the
right,
want for sex.
Right.
Yeah, but I just like, I remember the first time I like masturbated with just my fingers, and like I had an orgasm, and I was like,
time?
and I was like, oh, was that it? Because I wasn't sure. I mean, when you first,
you don't know. So is it clitorally or G-spot or everything you orgasm?
It's a little bit of everything. I don't know. I have really strong Kegel muscles too.
Right. Do you do your Kegel exercises?
I've been doing those since before I knew what they were.
Wow.
So like maybe 7. Because I would, when I was young, I used to have this weird complex about peeing, and I would always hold it because I'd be playing or whatever, and I didn't want to go. So I would, but by holding it, I was like strengthening my Kegel muscles. And then I noticed that if I needed to pee and I worked my Kegels, I could actually have an orgasm without having to touch myself. So like I'd be on the bus or whatever, just like silently.
Right, silently, really, really happy bus ride home.
Yeah.
Well, Kegel exercises are so important if you don't know what they are. I have an iPhone app actually called Kegel Camp.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
every day it pops up on your phone. There's like a little reminder, and it says you can set it any time of day, and it's 5 minutes a day, and it's my voice that walks you through it, and there's 20 levels. So people get to they get harder and harder levels, and people get to level 20, and like men, women, and they have stronger orgasms because of it. And I'm like, everyone needs to do it. Like they don't understand, but I love that you naturally did it. So you're just naturally born for this. It's true. Do you do them during sex?
Yes, I do. That's how when I'm working, if the director is like, okay, we need you to have an orgasm, usually the girls have to fake it because, I mean, who can come on command if you're a woman?
Right.
But for me, it's a lot easier because I can just work my Kegels and I can kind of force myself to come.
Exactly, which is a great tip for women. If you do have a hard time orgasming during intercourse, I'm telling you, download my app or just do it yourself. I think just the thing about my app that's unique is that it reminds you, because they say do them at a traffic light, do them wherever you go, and no one remembers. So it's
I'm doing mine right now.
Right, time for Kegel Camp, and just 5 minutes, and you will see like within a month that you are having stronger orgasms, and you can do it during sex. But for me too, when I feel like it's coming, but it's when you feel like you're about to orgasm and you're not, like I just do my Kegels and it's like boom and it happens. So
you know what else is a really good trick? I do this accidentally. I hold my breath when I'm coming. But it's almost like a form of breath play, because when you're lightheaded because of the air deprivation, it makes the orgasms feel even cooler.
Oh wow, that's a good one. I like it.
So
because a lot of women hold their breath the whole time they're having sex, and I often think that prevents them from having orgasm. But you do it right before.
Yeah, I do it as I'm coming. And which is why I think I'm always so out of it after sex, because I'm like...
Right, you're like...
I come so many
Can
times.
you multiple orgasms?
I always do. It's weird. I'm very, very lucky. I realize that I'm very lucky.
Like I kind of want you to leave right now. But, do you ever use sex toys?
I pretty much use a Hitachi religiously. I actually just recently broke mine. I need to get a new one because I use it so much. But I think every woman should invest in a Hitachi. They're like $40.
Right.
And there's 2 settings. You plug it in, but it is the best vibrator.
It is the best vibrator
ever. And you can get the attachments for it.
The attachments are amazing. I love, they've been sending me the attachments. So,
so good.
I know, like the rubber ones, you can do the G-spot thing. It's like, oh my God, it's like a million different things, like Legos. You just keep building onto your Hitachi. You guys have all heard me talk about it. It's actually not called Hitachi anymore. It's now just called the Magic Wand. Hitachi went away. But it is the Magic Wand, and you can go to sexwithemily.com/goodvibes. Use coupon code Emily, and you get 15% off your purchase. And I just say, I mean, I have a lot of great toys on that page if you go there. But Hitachi, every woman. I mean, I have it like permanently plugged in.
Me too.
I don't even right
right next to my bed.
Me too. Always, it's always there. In my last house, people who have listened to the shows told me, I have heard me say this, but I had a nightstand, and it was like a smaller, older apartment. I couldn't get. And I didn't know the plugs everywhere, so I drilled a hole in the back of my nightstand so I could plug it into the wall. It was like an old night. It wasn't like that nice piece, but still. So it's always plugged in, ready to go. But it is true. The Hitachi's like it's the sure thing because it just happens in like 3 minutes, and it's amazing. And I can have like multiple. Like, sometimes I'm like, oh God, I'm late. I'm like, having so many orgasms. So I'm wondering if now that you are a porn star, do you think is the experience of having sex now different from when before you were a porn star?
I think it's definitely changed because I feel more experienced because I've gotten to experience a lot of things that I would have never experienced had I not done porn, like crazy BDSM things that maybe I wouldn't have felt safe doing, but because I know that I'm working with professionals, I'm in safe hands, so they can get crazy. But I think I just I know good sex better. Like, I know that its passion is everything. Whereas, when you're young, you're just like, I want it hard and fast all the time. But now it's it's different. It's a little bit like, I actually don't mind it when it's slow and romantic
slow is nice.
too.
Exactly. Yeah. I always tell you just got to mix it up. It is true when we're younger. It's like jackhammer.
Yeah, because you want it. You're like, it's a race to have an orgasm, and now it's more like, no, I want to take it slow and really
sensual.
Enjoy it. Savor
I love to like make out when I'm having sex sometimes in the middle, the whole thing.
Oh, the whole time. I love kissing.
I love kissing too. It's so intimate. Yeah, it really like heightens everything that you're doing. So I think that's great. Slow it down. So your sex, so it is better now. And I feel like same with me. Like since I've been doing the show, like I feel like I've learned so much more. Like how can I have bad sex? You know what I mean? Sometimes I do, but only once with someone. So would you say if you could direct your own porn scene, if you were a director, do you ever want to direct maybe?
Maybe. I mean, I've thought about it. I've always thought that maybe I wasn't ready myself to be in charge, but I'm actually leaning more towards wanting to direct now. I direct stuff from my website.
Okay.
So that's like my
Tell me your
little
website
teaser.
again.
It's skindiamondvip.com.
Hot videos and everything. People should check it out. Pictures,
it's pretty
videos.
naughty.
It's awesome. So what would go down in your dream porn scene?
Well,
Skin Diamond's fantasy porn scene. What happens?
I
Who's
like
there? What's
pretending
happening?
I'm a kitty a lot.
Really?
I have this thing. It's like puppy play, but it's kitty play. And I have a kitty butt plug tail that has a pink bow on the end and a bell, and then I have matching ears and a collar.
Oh, that's so sexy.
So,
is that on your website? Can people see you with the kitty butt plug?
Actually, that the scene that won AVN was my blow bang scene, and it was all my idea. I was super excited that it won.
Oh my God! So you kind of did direct it.
Yeah.
Really? So what? Okay, tell me about the scene.
So it was a blow bang. To those that do not know what a blow bang is, it's like a gang bang, only it's all oral sex. So I think there was like 9 to 12 guys. Who remembers these
9 to
things?
12 guys and you?
And I was the kitty, and it was my idea to pretend to be a cat the whole time while I'm, getting banged in my face. And then, and then at the end, they all came in a little kitty bowl. And then I lapped it up like it was milk.
That's
and
hot. Wow,
it was
that
really
is a
fun.
really creative scene.
It was super fun.
Yeah.
I'm so glad it won.
That's amazing that you did just direct. You literally, that was your idea. Were you like, hey, director, come here, I got this idea?
Yeah, because I already had, because I'm into kitty play in my personal life, so I already had all this stuff, and I was like, well, wouldn't it be really cool to do this scene where I'm a cat and it's a blow bang, and instead of milk, it's cum.
That's really sexy.
So
Oh
check
my
it
God.
out. It was my Elegant Angel movie entitled Skin.
Okay, Elegant Angel. People can find. Where can they find that? Just
ElegantAngel.com.
Okay, that's cool. So what award are you most proud of that you've won in the porn? Is it that one? you think?
That's definitely in the top one. The movie for Elegant Angel actually won 3 awards in total. I also won Best Double Penetration Sex Scene, and the movie as a whole won Best Gonzo Release at XBiz. But I also won Female Performer of the Year at Urban X Awards last year.
You did? What was that for, your Female Performer of the Year?
Well, that's basically just like the highest award for porn girls. It's like, like
just for everything that
Best
you've done
Actress
this
or
year.
whatever.
Right. That's
Yeah.
big friggin' deal. And you're in
super
LA,
exciting.
this area. Okay, do you ever go to any of the like sex clubs in LA or parties here, or do you just...
Not so much anymore. I used to go to fetish clubs a lot in Europe, but see, I'm spoiled, and the fetish clubs here, I'm like, they're not as good.
I know, because you have it all. That's so true. I'm just curious because I'm actually doing a segment tomorrow for television. They're talking about the underground scenes in LA, which I just moved here from San Francisco, so I haven't experienced them yet, but I would like to. I know.
Yeah, San Francisco has some crazy
I know.
stuff.
And I've done some of that there, but not here, so I need to I need to get into it more. Okay. Well, I got to talk about something really quickly. I talk about products all the time that will improve your sex life. And now I have to tell you about a product that has improved my sex life and changed my life. Seriously, not just sexually, but has extreme health benefits as well. Okay, have you ever been at the gym on the treadmill and thought, it would be great if I could be eating pizza and exercising at the same time? Or even, God, I wish these push-ups would at least give me an orgasm. Unfortunately, we rarely get to experience pleasure while maintaining our health and well-being until now. This product is 1 part Genius Health Invention, 1 part vibrator, and it will strengthen your pelvic floor and give you an orgasm. Now, if you don't already, you should be doing your Kegel exercises. You hear me talking about the benefits of them all the time, but how many of us really do them? And even if we do them once in a while, like at stoplights or while you're waiting in line, how many of us are doing them correctly and seeing the benefits? Well, now there's a product that actually does your Kegels for you and gives you mind-blowing orgasms at the same time. What if I told you there was a product that actually does your Kegels for you and gives you mind-blowing orgasms at the same time? That's probably an exercise routine you'd remember to keep up with, right? Intensity is a revolutionary intimate health and stimulation device that takes all the confusion out of Kegels. It may resemble the classic rabbit vibrator, but let me be clear, this is no ordinary sex toy. It's both a vibrator and a Kegel exerciser. Intensity is the only device that combines pleasure with pelvic floor toning, giving you a workout you can actually look forward to. It perfectly targets your G-spot and clitoris while using gentle electrostimulation to contract your vaginal muscles. And if the instant orgasms weren't enough, intensity can actually improve your overall sexual satisfaction. Intensity has been proven to tighten and tone your pelvic floor muscles, increasing the power and intensity of your orgasms and heightening intimate sensations for both you and your partner. Experts are calling the Intensity the only intimate health product every woman needs. I felt the same way. If you want to know more about the Intensity and how it can change your sex life, check out our latest sex toy review podcast, Sex Toy Review Intense and Unplugged. To find out more about this orgasm game changer, visit pourmoi.com. That's pourmoi.com. That's the Intensity. Check it out. Okay, we actually have a caller. Let's talk to Anonymous. Let's do that. So, Anonymous. Hey, you're on with Sex with Emily and Skin Diamond. What's going on, Anonymous? Are you there? He wants to know, how do I get my wife to open up about her fantasies? Well, let's try to get this going.
Hello.
Hi, we want to talk to you.
Maybe they got shy.
Oh, we could just answer.
Yeah.
How do you think? I mean, I talk about this time. What would be your advice to a guy who wants his wife to open up about her fantasies?
Maybe he should try telling her one of his freaky fantasies, and that way she'll feel more comfortable opening up about hers.
Exactly.
Also, maybe right after sex, because, you know, everyone's in a great mood after sex. So
right.
It's the best time.
It is a good time to talk about after, not during.
Well, sometimes during, but it depends on if it's really freaky and you don't want to spoil the mood, then maybe wait till afterwards.
Right. But a lot of women I find don't, or they're not, they probably do have fantasies, but they're not necessarily aware of them, or they don't think like men. You know, a lot of men are like, have a million fantasies. So I also say sometimes a good way to like ask her is just to say, to start it slow and say, what's your most memorable time that we've ever had sex together? What's your favorite time that we've ever had sex together? What's your best memory of our sex life? And maybe that's a good way. If she's like, God, that time you threw me on the bed and ripped off my clothes. Well, then he'll know. Okay, so she's into something a little more aggressive. Or she said that time you came home with flowers and dripped them on, you dropped rose petals on the bed. It's whatever it is. Then you kind of get, you kind of can see into her mind and what she's thinking, and it can help open up the dialogue, because
that is a good idea.
So many couples just don't talk about it. They've been together forever and they don't talk about their sex life.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are scared that someone's going to think they're weird, but honestly, like, everyone has some freaky fantasies.
Right. It's so true. Do you think you've lived out all your freaky fantasies?
I think I've lived out at least all the ones that I've thought about or seen in pornos that I wanted to experience myself.
Like what? Like, can you name one?
Getting DP'd, double penetration.
Right. Is that amazing?
It's so good. I actually prefer it better than anal sex because it's best of both worlds.
Right, exactly. And are you attracted to the men that were doing it always or not always?
I mean,
honestly?
I always try to find something about them that I like, even if maybe they're not my type, because my type of guys aren't really the kind of guys that you would find in porn. I'm into really like down to earth, like regular guys.
Right.
Whereas porno guys are usually super buff and whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I just try to find something about them that I like. Like maybe they have nice eyes, or maybe they're really funny and they make me laugh.
Right.
Or maybe they're super strong and can just throw me around. That's always amazing.
I love when guys throw me around. I know.
Totally.
We're small too. How tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
Okay. Yeah. Well, you're little. Yeah. I'm 5'1". So we actually. Oh, he is? Okay. Should we talk? Well, we already answered. Okay. Hey, are you there?
I'm there.
Hi. Okay, did you hear? I don't know if you can hear what you're saying, but you want to get your wife to open up about her fantasies.
Yeah, I think we've just hit a little bit of a plateau, and I feel like I've tried to say a little bit of mine, and then try to pull out a little bit of hers, and I feel like that she's just not. I don't know.
She's not open to it.
She's just thinking other things at this point.
Oh, well, how long have you been together?
What's that?
How long have you guys been together?
We've been married for 5 years now and together for like 10.
Okay. And what did you share with her? What was your fantasy?
Well, actually, like one of mine and something that she shared with me before was, some pee action.
Pee?
And
pee, like urine?
And I'm okay with that. Like, I want to hear more about that. But
Wait, can you back up? I don't know if I heard you correctly. What kind of action?
Some DP action.
DP.
Oh,
double
DP.
penetration. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
So you would want another guy in the room, or you'd want to use like a dildo?
Well, she's another guy.
You'd be okay with her with another guy?
And I'm up for that.
Oh,
That's hot.
yeah, that's so hot. So she wants that?
She mentioned it before, and I try and like pull it back out of her, and I feel like she's just.
Well, I mean, things like that, if somebody's never done it before, it's going to make anyone feel a little bit nervous, and maybe she just has stage fright.
Right. And maybe you got to ease into it. So maybe if her fantasy is double penetration, maybe you could buy like a great dildo or something, like a butt plug, and start like experimenting so she knows what it feels like. And then you bring someone into the room, maybe.
Plus, if you have sex with her while she has a butt plug in, it feels really good for the guys, too.
Yeah. The butt plug feels good to the guys because they can
feel the butt plug rubbing against them while
which is
they're
a little
inside.
secret. It's like with vibrators. Guys don't realize that the vibrations feel good on them as well.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. So I think maybe you got to change your tactics, how you talk to her. Like, I don't know if you heard what I was saying earlier because we couldn't hear you, but I was saying sometimes a great thing to ask her is to say, what's your most memorable sex experience that we've ever had? What's the favorite time when you think of our sex life, what's the greatest sex memory you have? And if she explains it to you, that time you ripped my clothes off in the alley, or we had, sex in the car, or you put rose petals on the bed, or whatever it is, then you'll know like what in her mind really turns her on and what's memorable. That could be a softer way to get it going.
Or like whisper something dirty in her ear while you're inside of her.
Yeah, does she like dirty talk? I know, I do too. Does she like dirty talk?
All right.
Yeah?
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay, well, good luck to you. Just keep talking, keep trying, okay? Don't give up on it. You just got to find the right way to communicate to her about it. It's hard. Okay, good luck to you. Thanks for calling Sex with Emily. It is hard sometimes. I'm sure you don't have a heart in your relationships talking about what you want and what you need.
Well, I mean, it's when you do porn, you almost like forget that regular people aren't as open.
Right.
Like, I'll be talking about anal sex really like, blah, 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 and then this happened, and with someone that's not in the industry, and their looks of shock are always really funny.
I know, exactly.
But I don't know. I've always been really open sexually. Like, I remember the way that I found out that I was into breath play was because I was a teenager. There was this boy that we always used to flirt. We never did anything. We never went the full shebang, but he mentioned that he really liked to choke girls during sex, and I remember getting so turned on when he said that, just from him talking about it. And then after that, I really wanted to try it, and so I think it was a while before I actually did try it. But like, it's funny how like just one little word will set something off.
Exactly. A lot of people, women are into the choking, and it's interesting the part about the breath that helps you with orgasm.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I mean, don't do it too hard, guys. You don't have to. Start slow.
You have to be careful because you can't crush the windpipe. there is a way you choke.
Right. How would you describe that way you choke? No, but you have to try it soft and see how she reacts, but you don't want to go too hard.
Yeah,
that's
of course.
True. So I'm wondering, when you do start dating someone, do you think that they do treat you differently when they know that you're a porn star, or you just date these down to earth guys that are pretty cool with it? But do you think at first there's like expectations?
It's
that
funny.
You're gonna have like a sex thing and a stripper pole in your room. I mean, maybe you do.
I do have a stripper pole in my house, but I mean, I'm always upfront about what I do. Usually, guys like they know me as a porn star when they meet me. Guys always think that dating a porn chick is super cool. Like, the idea of it's really cool, but I mean, it does get hard because the jealousy, guys are like, oh, well, you're going to work and getting banged by all, like, you. It's hard to be like, oh, so what did you do at work?
Right.
Oh, I got banged by 5 guys.
Exactly. I lapped up the cum of 9.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is hard I find that too. Men, it's very hard to find a man who's not threatened by what you do.
Yes.
Or who's not jealous that you're having. I mean, you got to find a really confident, which is sexy anyway.
Yeah.
Confidence is the sexiest thing, I think. And someone who's confident with himself, and he's like, I'm cool with that. It's your job. I love you. You know,
because it is a job at the end of the day. I mean, I don't want to, like, most of the guys that I'm banging on camera, like, I'm not going to like hook up with outside.
Right.
I love them on set, but that's the
right.
extent
That's
of
the
it.
end of it. So so I want to talk about anal sex now that we touched on that a little bit. It seems like it's very common. Like even in the last 10, 15 years, like I think it's because of porn. A lot of people, young kids growing up or whatever, they see it. A lot of guys want to try it, and I feel like a lot of women have bad first experiences because guys just try to like shove it in or they don't prepare them.
Yeah.
And so what would you say are the good do's and don'ts about going through the back door the first time, or if you want your partner to do it, if you want a woman to do it that you're with, like what would you suggest?
Well, if you want it to be super magical, I would suggest that the girl clean herself out beforehand to avoid any
Go to the
stink on your
bathroom
pink.
or like
enema a little bit. Just lots and lots of lube. Silicone based is better because it doesn't dry out and get sticky and weird. Go super slow, especially if he's girthy.
Right.
Uncut guys are a lot easier to handle, but just lots of lube, go slow, and like you said earlier, with guys for guys with cocks, if she's on top, then she can control it.
Exactly.
And I love anal sex on top because, especially like Lexington Steele, who's my arm, I like to go on top with him.
Right. It's true. When you're on top, women on top, or if you're through anal sex, you're in control. And again, use lots of lube, go slow. And again, if you're with a partner who you really want to try anal sex and she's scared about it because she just thinks, oh my God, it's going to hurt. And what I was saying at the beginning is a lot of women have bad experiences because guys just shove it in, no lube. So go slow and even start with your finger. Even warm her up with your finger.
They also have anal training kits that you can get that are, it's like
beginner
a
anal
set of butt plugs, and they start off super, super small and then they get bigger. So you can actually stretch yourself up. I always stretch before a scene because, I'm
stretch your anus before your scene. It's stretching before a run.
It's like stretching before a run. Right. Because some of the guys that I do, they're huge. That's why they're in porn. And so I have a dilator kit that I always stretch beforehand because there's
How long
also
beforehand do you have to do it?
Just right before for like a few minutes, and I'll usually like masturbate with a vibrator at the same time because I find that if I have an orgasm while I'm playing with my butt, then that's because you want your butt to loosen up so that you don't tear. That's always the danger. If you try to stretch it too fast, then you might tear something, and it's pain, and that's when it's super painful.
Exactly.
And you can have problems.
Right. So that is a great tip. Okay, so what about when you are performing oral sex on a man? What are some great tips that I know everyone met guy's different.
I love giving head. It's actually one of my favorite things to do.
You're like the dream woman. She orgasms all the time. She loves giving head. Okay, so tell me. I know. I like it. So many guys, that's their biggest complaint is that if a woman just seems enthusiastic about it, they're happy, but a lot of women just aren't. So what do you love about it, and what do you do?
Well, I'm a big pleaser. I love knowing that I'm making someone like if someone starts shaking and like moaning really hard or whatever because of something that I'm doing, then it makes me wet knowing that I'm getting them on.
Totally, yeah, it turns you on.
Yeah, I don't know, when I suck cock, I just it's like when you're licking a pussy, you don't want to just do the same thing over and over again. Mix it up, like see what he likes. Maybe just like suck on the head for a little bit, and then while you're jacking it off, or maybe like flick the tip of it with your tongue while it's in your mouth, or put it right to the back and suck really hard while it's all the way inside, or something
deep
like
throat.
that.
Exactly. Just keep mixing it up, and then when you find something. And I also say another great way when couples first start dating or people get is mutual masturbation. Like watch each so hot.
And plus, you can figure out how he likes it.
You're like, oh, this is what he does with his hand, and he goes really fast at the end, or whatever it is, and you learn, and then he can see how you do it. It's like I think it should be like a requisite for couples, like a
super
prerequisite.
hot.
Do it right away. I was going to also ask you if you do you have any advice for people? Like, because you've had such a successful career so early on. Like, do you have any advice for someone who wants to start a career in porn?
I think for most men, they should probably have second thoughts because being a porn star for a man is a lot harder than it looks.
Tell me why.
Because think about it, you got to get hard on command in front of a big group of people who all just want to go home. And then you have to come on command.
Right.
And if you can't, then people are going to be starting to look at their watches and going to put you off more. And so it's a lot harder. And plus, you have to have insane amounts of stamina.
Right. And you can't really fake it.
And yeah, with men, you
women
can't
can fake it. Right, exactly.
Like if you can't come, then the whole scene is ruined and everybody hates you.
Exactly. There's a lot of pressure.
With girls, I think that a lot of girls think that they can't say no to things, and they get pushed past their limits, and that's what gives them the bad experience. I think a lot of girls, because they're young and like their agent is telling them like, oh, you have to do this, or the director's like, oh, it'll be so much better if you do this. But unless you're comfortable, don't force it.
Right.
And always, like, you know, do your research, try to find the best agent that you can, someone that's going to look after you.
Right. It's so true to have good management, especially in this business. It's very hard.
Absolutely.
And so my other questions for you, God, we've covered a lot here. Is there any other like top sex tips that you have for people that you think they don't already know? Like, what have you learned? We talked about oral sex, we talked about anal sex, but like anything just like overall that you think is like a great tip for everyone to remember about sex?
I think that the main thing that people should keep in mind is don't take it too seriously. It's sex. If you end up, you know, trying a position and you fall over, it's not the end of the world. Just laugh about it and try something else. It's just keep experimenting and have fun. It's playtime for grown-ups. This is like what we get as grown-ups.
Right, exactly. I know it's like the best thing in the world. It's free most time unless you pay for it. But you know, some people do. But I'm saying it's something that you should really just work on and enjoy. How do you feel about massage? Do you like massages?
Oh, I love massages. Who doesn't?
I know. Well, I actually have a present for you.
Ooh,
I have the massage candle line that I just launched. It's called Emily and Tony. You're going to love this.
Nice.
Have you ever used a massage candle?
No.
Okay, so it is this one's coconut. It's made out of soybean oil and coconut oil. Ooh. And it burns cooler than most candles. So you burn it, and it melts into luxurious massage oil.
Oh,
and it's warm, and you pour it on your partner. And it's like, you can never burn them. It's not hot, and it's not sticky or tacky. Mm-hmm. And it gives them like a delicious massage. And then I use it in the morning or at night as like a body moisturizer. Because it's coconut oil. And it's all good for you. So I bought it for you.
Thank you so much.
I brought you one. You're going to smell it. It's amazing. So, I mean, it looks great. And the thing is about the massage candles too, like it looks great in your home. And for guys, I always say, I know it's amazing. For guys, I have to say, like I've tried other brands. I'm like, I wanted to make the perfect massage candle, but they're like all natural ingredients. And also, I always think another great sex tip is that, you know, if you're a guy and you got to like light the candles, first of all, they have 3 scents and they all smell amazing. And you don't have to have a massage with it. You could just put it. It could be your centerpiece at dinner. But then you could be like, oh, hey babe, I just got this new thing. Roll. You know, guys are always like trying to give you a massage, or women, and it's like, I'm going to rub your back, and like she's putty in your hands because it feels amazing. So
awesome.
If anyone wants it, they go to emilyandtony.com. Use coupon code Emily, and you will get like 20% off, I think, or something. So that's for you.
Thank you.
It. And yeah, you're awesome. So where can people find you? What's your website?
My website is skindiamondvip.com, and you can also find me at Twitter at skin_diamond. And Thank you. I'm actually working on music right now. It's I shot a scene as a music video for a porno, and that kind of inspired me to be like, oh, well, this was really fun. I'm going to keep going with it. So I've been writing songs and working on all that.
I love it. You have so
friends.
much going on. You're so active, and you're wonderful. You have great personality. You just really seem just happy and centered, and you love what you do.
Thank you.
And I love people who love what they do, and you're doing well at it, probably because you love it so much.
I do love it.
You got to be passionate about what you do, people. Find your passion in life, and I so appreciate all your sex tips. And Anderson,
don't take this the wrong way, but I just thought of a gimmicky thing that you might be able to do to sell albums.
What?
Has there ever been a musician who's recorded an entire album while having sex?
Ooh.
I don't know if I mean...
If you just sit on top of your boyfriend and sing into the microphone. You know what I mean? And it's like this entire album was recorded while coital was in process.
That's kind of hot.
Or at least
the
do
music
one
video.
Song like that.
How about like a music porn video?
Oh, well, because you know how there's always like a tease premise to pornos, whatever.
Right.
Well, this one particular director, Brando, approached me saying he wanted to shoot the tease as a music video, and then I said, well, I want to write the song. So I went with my friend and we wrote a song together, and then we used it and shot the whole music video, and then you can watch the music video and then it turns into a sex scene.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it. Where can people find that?
Brazzers.com.
Okay, browsers? Brazzers. Okay, well, you're awesome. So everyone, you're going to check this out and check out my website, because we're going to do a little video right now just so you can check her out, and we're going to give you some highlights of the show. And yeah, thank Thank you so much for being on the show. And Anderson.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're great. I want you to come back again. And Anderson, how are you doing? Tell me about your show. Everyone can check out.
Oh, yeah. Film Vault is doing better than ever. We're fantastic. We talk about new movies, old movies. Film Vault. The Film Vault.
Right.
It's a good show.
Check out his podcast. And thanks, everyone, for listening to Sex with Emily. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Sex with Emily. Email me all your sex questions. feedback@sexwithemily.com. And thanks, everyone, for listening. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com. If we haven't talked about your penis enough, I'm going to talk to you about the Fleshlight, which is the #1 sex toy for men because it really, it just really is. It's the only one that you want. It is a masturbation sleeve. I've been talking about this for over a year and a half now, and I know you guys are all loving it because every guy who got one is like, oh my God, where has it been my whole life? And it's not because you're not having sex. It's not because you're dissatisfied with your sex life. It's just like how I have a million vibrators, or some women have 2. It's fine. You should have something as well that just feels a little different than sex, just as good as sex, and a little different than your hand. And also, if you want to last longer in bed, the stamina training unit is awesome. So do me a favor, because I love you. And if you love me, go to sexwithemily.com, click on the Fleshlight banner, use code Emily, and you get a free bottle of their award-winning Flesh Lube. Let me ask you a question. Are you getting enough? I bet you'd love a little more, right? AdamandEve.com wants to give you more. They give you 10 free gifts. Who the hell does that anymore? Free gifts. You'll get a sexy surprise for her, a specially selected prize for him, and a little something that you'll both enjoy. Talking about spicing up the sex life, you'll enjoy it. You'll get 6 full-length adult movies on DVD. And number 10, free shipping on your entire order. So what do you have to do to get your 10 free gifts? Not hard at all. Go to adamandeve.com, select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy, sexy piece of lingerie, a game. I'm so into couples games right now. They have these really fun games that you can play to get to know what you both like about each other, what you both like in bed. Try one of those out. Just enter offer code Emily at checkout and you'll get 10 free gifts. That's adamandeve.com. Use code Emily for 10 free gifts. Thanks for listening.